Illinois Corn Marketing Board, Farm Credit Illinois, Maroa Ag, the McLean County Farm Bureau, Nancy Metal, and Beck's Hybrids, and the area's Beck's Hybrid seed dealers.
News time is 13 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Thanks for being with us this morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Coming up in news on this Friday, a new bank is setting up shop in Clinton. Details are next. The DeWitt County Public Safety Committee discussed Thursday night ending its intergovernmental agreement with Clinton. The Clinton Rotary Club taps into the annual Apple and Pork Festival each fall to help support its efforts in the community. And the Miller Park Zoo's Zoo-Doo fundraiser recently was a huge success. Those stories coming up next in news. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A new bank is setting up shop in Clinton. Taylor Baxter, city administrator for the city of Clinton, tells Regional Radio this week the Planning Commission in Clinton has been working on plans for the new bank that will set up on the west side of the community across the street from Clinton High School.
I will put a plug in. We do have a vacancy on our planning commission. So if you've ever been interested in serving and want to try to help Clinton move forward, this is a great position to get involved with. We meet once a month when needed, and it seems like every month we've been meeting. But it's just, we have a great group that's on there right now. We're just one short. So if you're interested, give me a call. We can talk about it. We'd love to have an extra person on there. So we meet on the second Tuesday of every month right now it's been at 6 o'clock for our meetings up at City Hall in the council chambers. And we really bring forward to them anything that has to do with zoning or planning that really comes to them first. And then they give a recommendation to the city council. So part of this, and we kind of go into it, the most recent planning commission we had was a minor subdivision for the new bank that's coming into town.
Longview Community Bank will be set up near the FS station on the west side. Baxter says they are excited to welcome them to the community.
So this is going to be out at the FS property next to Dairy Queen. They have two pretty big parcels out there. So whenever somebody wants to divide up their property, we call it a minor subdivision. So that's what came before the Planning Commission. The commercial building permit for Longview Community Bank, as well as approving the minor subdivision, which got officially approved last night at the meeting. So we have a new bank coming to town. We're really excited. They are very well off. They have a lot of different branches in a lot of different communities, and they felt like Clinton was a great spot for them because they have really just customers all over this area, and they felt like it was a good market and a good location.
Many may question if the community needs another bank, and Baxter says absolutely. He indicates a bank will bring millions of dollars with it and invest it back in the community.
Absolutely, yeah. Because, with these people that invest substantial amount of money, they have an idea of what the market is and what their needs are. So if we have a bank that's going to approach us and, hey, we want to build in Clinton, we're going to welcome them with open arms. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to try to help them get moving through that process. And, people can say we don't need another bank. Okay, they feel like they have enough customers to make this work, and they're going to invest millions of dollars in Clinton. We're going to support them the best way that we can. And why wouldn't we? And that's part of, again, economic development I talked about earlier is one side is bringing new businesses in. That's a huge part of that. And a bank that has a very good reputation is expanding. We want those types of businesses in Clinton. We'd love to have them.
Baxter says there's already equipment out at the site ready to move dirt once the contractors get the nod to begin. The city of Clinton has an intergovernmental agreement with DeWitt County to handle animal control issues, but that may be coming to an end. At the Thursday night DeWitt County Public Safety Committee meeting, the board discussed their intergovernmental agreement with the city of Clinton because they feel they do not get enough revenue from the city to sustain it. Board member Buck Carter feels all municipalities in DeWitt County need to be paying more for animal control services.
Yeah, I think part of it is that we need to work on these agreements like we have with the city of Clinton. they're definitely not paying their fair share. Other villages that we go to on occasion, Monticello, Weldon, Kenny, Waynesville, whatever, we should be getting some monetary value from these people for responding to calls in those areas. We need to pursue those agreements and update them. It's been years since they were changed and they paid what I consider to be their fair share.
Incorporated areas, Kenny and Weldon, Waynesville, all of those have contacted me, and they are interested in talking to us to come up with an agreement.
Animal Control Administrator Tony Harris notes, although they are issuing citations, it's very hard to follow up on those and collect the fines that are administered. That means the county is not getting the revenue to support the budgets.
So what I'm being told on that, I wasn't here, of course, then. What I'm told was part of that agreement was to set fines and fees in place for us to collect on. We are collecting on fees when animals are brought to the shelter, and if they're picked up, we charge a fee for that. What we are not doing is the fines, writing the citations. The citations can be issued, but you got to collect on it.
It's the enforcement, as I recall.
The enforcement.
Markwell told us that it wasn't worth his effort to collect those fines.
Board member John Wirtz suggested ending the agreement with the city of Clinton when it expires in 2025 and letting the city decide if it would cost them more to have their own shelter and animal control or decide to pay the county more for their services.
I feel as a board member, I have a responsibility to all taxpayers that we spend our money wisely, and I think you are. But the problem we just brought up, we're not getting the revenue that we're thinking we're going to get in the budget, and this has got to change. I'm sitting there going, well, I would love for this all to work if we just get the revenue to come in that's supposed to be coming in. Yeah. And I think it's a good move to talk to the city and say, hey, we're not going to re-sign this contract because it ain't flying. Yeah. So let the city figure out what's going to cost them to have their own animal shelter, and they might change their mind a little bit and say, we can't afford having an animal shelter, we'll pitch in a little more. That's what we got to do.
Tony Harris also made the announcement at the meeting. He will be resigning from his animal control position soon after the start of the year due to the stress he's under being responsible for both animal control and the 911 center. He says he wants to be a part of the process to hire someone new and suggested it be a full-time position. 20 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. A break here. More to come on the morning show.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers a full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton or Farmer City. This is what we strive to do each and every day. We'll listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that is knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. The Clinton Rotary Club serves pulled pork sandwiches, a pickle, and a drink at the Apple and Pork Festival every year to help support the community. Tim Hall with the Clinton Rotary Club says the festival is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Rotarians and supports its efforts in the community throughout the year.
We got our usual pulled pork sandwich, pickle, iced tea, and water. Yesterday, we sold about 2/3 of the meat we had for the whole event. Today's a little bit slower, but that's good because we sold 2/3 of our meat yesterday. So yesterday was an impressive crowd for sure. Today's going, it's just slow and steady. A little bit less than yesterday, but it's going at a good pace for us. Yeah, we have to arrange for all this stuff to come here. We have a large tent of a large 2-chamber smoker that can get towed up here. We have to get our meat prepared, get the pickles from the local Save-A-Lot, some other items from them, and just get it all set up and make it so we can just cook and make sandwiches the day of the event. Well, this is our number one fundraiser. It kind of funds our club and all the projects we undertake for the rest of the year. So we usually look for a decent amount out of this event, and I think we're hitting that this year. So I think it's been a success. So our club does a lot of different things. One of the biggest things we do is our scholarship fund. We depending on how our fund is looking each year, we give a certain number of scholarship to high school students. We also help fund projects around the town. We often have a grant that we apply for each year for things like repairing the park or maybe some work at Weldon Springs or whatever needs to be done. we look at organizations in town that need help with donations and things like that, whether we can donate money or manpower. And then we also just try to identify community needs on our own that we can help with. So that's kind of what we fund with the money we raise for events like this.
Cole and his family hosted a foreign exchange student last school year from Italy. He felt it was a great experience and still keeps in touch with Federico. He hopes to see the Rotary do something like that again soon.
It was a great experience. Funny enough, he's texting me right now because one thing he got from America is our football culture. So he's texting me about the Bears game this afternoon. So he must be watching the Bears and the Rams over in Italy. But it was a great experience. My wife and I don't personally have kids, so having a teenager come live with us for a year was a little scary ahead of time. But he was a great kid. It was a great experience for not only us, but for him. It was good. So the school has a Rotary-sponsored Interact Club that he was a member of. They kind of plan their own community service events around the community and elsewhere. I know they do some trips then. They went to St. Louis, Chicago. First thing he did when he moved into our house was said, "Can you call the football coach? I want to play football." So we took him over to practice. He ended up being sharing kicking duties with Anderson, who's the kicker this year. So they kind of split kicking duties last year. And then he was on the JV basketball team. So he got pretty involved in sports right away. And then, like I said, Rotary Interact. So he was pretty involved at school. Going from no kids to taking someone back and forth to practice all the time was a big change for my wife and I, but it was positive.
The Rotary does other fundraising efforts in the community as well. Hull explains they have a March Madness fundraiser, and they're known for their Nelson's Chicken Dinner fundraisers, which they will be moving this year.
We have a few fundraisers, like I said. This is our big one, and then our other events, we do a chicken dinner that we recently moved from, I think, the springtime to the winter. The community can expect to see us selling chicken dinner tickets in a few months, hopefully. And then we have our March Madness. It's kind of a raffle. So the March Madness raffle is the other fundraiser that we do. Those things kind of directly fund our scholarships. They fund the donations we're able to give throughout the year, and then they keep our club up and running. And then a big portion of that money, too, goes to Rotary International, like you mentioned, with the polio cure. And Rotary International is kind of shifting from polio because of how rare polio is now. I don't think they can declare it eradicated yet, but they're well on the way to that. So they're looking to, they have a couple of action groups. One's to address malaria, which is similar to addressing polio. It's a disease. So a lot of the infrastructure they put in place for polio also can be put in place for malaria. And then they're looking to address substance abuse. So those are some Rotary International things that are the money we raise goes to support as well.
The Apple and Pork Festival drew just over 85,000 this year. The Rotary meets on Tuesdays at noon at the American Legion. Fundraising is a huge part of many zoos' abilities to function, and the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington is doing it successfully. On the WHOW Morning Show Thursday, Jay Pratt, executive director of the Miller Park Zoo, told Regional Radio their biggest fundraiser of the year was great. The Zoo-Doo fundraiser is a gala hosted at the grounds, and this year's theme was Ignite the Night.
I think we talked right before or around the time. So the Miller Park Zoological Society, in support of the zoo and our capital projects, hosts 3 events every year. The first one is Stampede. That's that race. Then there's Brews at the Zoo, which is everybody comes to the zoo and hangs out, and all the breweries and food are here. And the more gala-like one that we have is Zoo-Doo. And that's usually hosted first in the zoo, then over in the pavilion. It's the one where it's the sit-down meal. It's always themed for whatever the project of greatest need is. This year, the committee did a bang-up job. It was called Ignite the Night, and they went full out. We had events and drinks in the zoo as all the guests transferred over towards past the silent auction, over towards the building for dinner. We had a tent set up, and we actually had fire dancers and all sorts of themed stuff come in. So it was.
According to Pratt, the zoo estimates they raised over $150,000 between ticket sales and the live and silent auctions. Attendees could bid on zoo experiences packages and other donations.
So both the silent and a live auction. Society does a great job of pulling in donations from the community. Everything, we also provide some packages from the zoo. Like, for example, one of the packages, you can shadow our veterinarians and our vet tech for a day. There's encounters where you have the chance to feed the giant tortoises and the giant anteaters. So we try to provide some experience packages. My animal care manager, Rose, and I put together and crafted some animal art where the animals did paintings that were very specific and very unique pieces. There was really a lot of great stuff from the community in there too, and people were really excited. And when people are drinking and bidding on an app, it's actually hysterical to watch. So this year, the society, they generally have a different target, but this year, and they haven't gone through all of it, so we don't have a complete number yet, but they believe that they raised probably over $150,000 this year as one of their most successful events ever.
Wow.
And then over $40,000 of those funds were designated specifically for the upcoming rainforest habitat for sloths.
Pratt adds the funds are also going in a positive direction as they work on that sloth habitat. If you'd like more information on the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, visit mpzs.org. Also find the Miller Park Zoo on Facebook. News time is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Friday. Coverage of news today brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agents in Clinton. Coming up on 7:30 on this Friday, we'll take a look at network news following the network. Final day of harvest reports as the combines continue to roll in central Illinois. We'll hear from more farmers coming up this morning on the morning show. After we take a look at those harvest reports this morning, it's a look at local sports. Big couple of weeks for the Clinton Maroons on the gridiron as Clinton seeks to earn that 5-win mark and become playoff eligible and even get that 6th victory to clinch a playoff spot. That story comes up in sports here this morning.
SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Israel's killing of Hamas's top leader is a dramatic turning point in the Israel-Hamas war. Yahya Sinwar was the mastermind of the group's brutal attack against Israel last October. President Biden, who's meeting with European leaders in Germany today, said that Israel's killing of Sinwar proves that terrorists cannot escape justice, no matter how long it takes. Texas halted last night's planned execution of Robert Robertson. He was scheduled to be the first person executed in the U.S. over shaken baby syndrome. But several officials argued that Robertson is innocent. Experts are recommending fundamental changes at the Secret Service following the assassination attempt on Donald Trump this summer. King Charles is visiting Sydney on the first Australian visit by a reigning monarch in more than a decade. This is SRN News.
WHOW Combine Reports are brought to you by our title sponsor,
Apex Clean Energy, harvesting the seeds for a better future in Illinois.
Also brought to you by
Whitful's Hybrids and your local Whitful's Hybrids seed dealer.
Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton,
where you'll find the official truck of the Combine Reports, the 2025 Chevy Silverado.
Along with the Macon County Farm Bureau, AAK Mechanical, Peterson Insurance,
State Bank of Dee-Mack,
Illinois Corn Marketing Board, Farm Credit Illinois, Maroa Ag, the McLean County Farm Bureau, Nancy Metal, and Beck's Hybrids, and the area's Beck's Hybrid seed dealers.
This is Jeff Scott here from Beck's Hybrids. Beck's is the industry leader in providing the soybean technologies you need with relative maturities ranging from 0.5 to 5.1. We offer a variety of Extendiflex and Enlist E3 varieties to maximize weed control and protect your yield potential. Beck's is dedicated to providing farmers with choices in industry-leading soybean varieties. Contact me, Jeff Scott, at 217-827-3544 to learn more or place an order today.
The 2024 Chevy Silverado Heavy Duty is the official truck for your harvest season. Scott Baum here from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. The 2024 Silverado is the strongest, most capable ever, with 2 heavy-duty powertrain options, innovative towing technologies, and a large and functional Durabed. Silverado HD pulls up, ready to help you get that crop out of the field on your farm this fall. Now's the time to make the Chevy Silverado your farm's official truck here at Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Fall field work is here and RoAg is ready. Sean Bytes here to remind you to book your fall fertilizer application now. Moreau Ag offers variable rate application of potash, lime, DAP, and all dry fertilizers. Plus, we offer liquid fertilizer and anhydrous application as well. Let us at Moreau Ag assist you this fall so you'll be ready to plant next spring.
Apex Clean Energy is an American veteran-led energy company harvesting the wind across the country. Their projects have received broad support from local farmers and landowners, and participation is 100% voluntary. Landowners who choose to host wind energy on their land will receive decades of steady revenue, and communities receive local property taxes to fund our schools, roads, first responders, and more. Let's harness the wind and leave a legacy for generations to come. To learn more, go to apexcleanenergy.com/landowners. In this Beck's Hybrids Farmer Fridays report, we visit with Jeff Scott, who farms in Christian and Montgomery counties and is a dealer for Beck's Hybrid. Jeff shared with us many of the new products that Beck's Hybrids has in their pipeline. That's got to be exciting as a Beck's dealer that you've got those kind of products in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've always been known for the choices we offer. We offer Extend Flex beans, Enlist beans. We still offer non-GMO, organic. We've got a good corn lineup. We're in a good spot right now. Beck's is a good company to be affiliated with. They're concerned about the farmer and his success.
I am impressed about how the Beck family is involved in many of their events and in the operation of their company. How does that translate down to you as a dealer? Are you able to translate that culture to a farmer when you talk about Beck's Hybrids?
Certainly, and we're very fortunate that they set that standard, because that's what I tell a lot of people, and some of the people I take to different functions. There isn't anybody in this company that you can't talk to, and they always make themselves available.
That's Jeff Scott, a dealer for Beck's Hybrids, and he also farms in Christian and Montgomery counties. In this Beck's Hybrids Farmer Fridays report, we visited with Jeff on October 3rd. I'm Randall J. Miller.
At Whiffle's Hybrids, we like to speak in metaphors. For example, when it's seed decision time and you're at that fork in the road and time is money, you might want to choose a partner that's a little more underdog, a little more David than Goliath. Because you deserve a family-owned company that marches to the beat of their own drum, whose product lineup and customer service is the whole enchilada, the whole ball of wax, the whole kit and caboodle. Whiffle's Hybrids. Plant your independence.
As harvest begins, we're reminded that a farmer's work doesn't stop once the crop's in the ground, just as Farm Credit Illinois doesn't stop working for you after closing. FCI member owners can reprice their rates at no cost as the market allows. Plus, annual cash patronage payments can lower your interest rate even more. As farmers are hard at work this harvest season, Farm Credit Illinois reflects on the year with gratitude for our cooperative members and wishes you a safe and bountiful fall. Visit farmcreditil.com to learn more about FCI's cooperative advantages.
During harvest, downtime is not only lost time, but lost productivity and potentially lost profit. When your equipment is down in the field and you need a mobile welding job right now, call the professionals at AAK Mechanical in Clinton, 935-8501. That's 935-8501. AAK Mechanical's mobile welding unit will be on their way to fix that problem and get harvest going again. Put this number in your smartphone, 935-8501, for the mobile welding service from AAK Mechanical in Clinton.
We all know that the price of almost everything has increased recently, but you might not know the price of lumber, and even the steel used in Mansi Metal's post-frame buildings, roofing, and siding has actually come down. Now could be a great time to install a new metal roof or put up a pole barn designed to last. To talk about your project with one of their building specialists, visit Mansi Metal's showroom weekdays on Route 121 in Mount Zion, or right now at manseametal.com, MANSEA metal.com.
In Illinois, 96% of farms are family-owned and operated. I'm Felicity.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Christian. We are farm kids from Peoria County.
And our family is part of that 96%.
Our mom and dad are passionate about growing safe food and fuel.
And about farming better today than yesterday.
If you want to learn more about Illinois farm families like ours,
visit www.watchusgrow.org/corn.
This message is brought to you by the Illinois Corn Checkoff.
WHOW Combine Reports are brought to you by our title sponsor,
Apex Clean Energy, harvesting the seeds for a better future in Illinois.
Also brought to you by
Whitful's Hybrids and your local Whitful's Hybrids seed dealer.
Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton,
where you'll find the official truck of the Combine Reports, the 2025 Chevy Silverado.
Along with the Macon County Farm Bureau, AAK Mechanical, Peterson Insurance,
State Bank of Dee-Mack,
Illinois Corn Marketing Board, Farm Credit Illinois, Maroa Ag, the McLean County Farm Bureau, Nancy Metal, and Beck's Hybrids, and the area's Beck's Hybrid seed dealers.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. With 2 games to play, the Clinton Maroons are still looking for that 5th playoff-eligible victory. Last week, the Maroons lost 30-22 at home to Shelbyville, bringing their record to 4-3. Coach Ron Bass says it's tough to be on a 3-game losing streak, but his team will have to dig deep to make the playoffs and become eligible this week.
Well, when losing 3 games in a row in a football season, it's tough.
Yeah.
There's some serious adversity there. So, we're going to have to dig deep and the kids know that if they want to have an opportunity to make the playoffs, they're gonna have to win, at least one, if not both, of these final 2 games. So the pressure's on a little bit. I think from last week's game, it just came up a little short. I feel like I say that quite a bit, but there was definitely some positives, but at the same time, we're a couple plays away from winning.
Although Dee-Mack is only 1-4 in conference play, Coach Bass says not to discount their team. It's a winnable game, but Dee-Mack has been getting better every week and notes their backs against the wall. It will be a good test for the Maroons.
Well, it's definitely a winnable game, but I would tread caution with the record just because, watching them on film, they've progressively gotten better over the course of the year. You look at some common opponents and you might say to yourself, oh, well, that's what they did against Hayworth or what they did against Shelbyville. But they played, against a good El Paso team. They played tough last week, and, they came off a win from Tremont. So, they're going to be feeling good about themselves. They're fighting for a playoff appearance as well. They're a little bit more in dire need, and so their back's going to be against the wall. So I think it's going to be a good test for us.
Although the Maroons are still looking to become playoff eligible, Coach Bass feels confident they can win one, if not both, of their next 2 games. He says it's all about how bad his players want it.
Well, I still feel confident in our kids. I still feel like that we're a good team. Obviously, the injuries that we've had over the course of since the last time we had mentioned that does make a difference.
Yeah.
But even with those injuries, I still feel like we're a good team. We're still capable to go 6-3. It'll really come down to a matter of want to. We talked with our kids about that. It's this desire, this want to. Are you gonna give in to all the adversity, or are you gonna continue fighting? So I'm looking forward to seeing what takes place over the next couple weeks.
The Maroons will strive to make it over that 5-win mark against Dee-Mack tonight at home. Game time is 7 p.m. Catch the action right here on WHOW and all our digital platforms just before kickoff. Action in the heart of Illinois tonight. Tri-Valley travels to Eureka. Tremont hosts El Paso Gridley. Shelbyville is at Ridgeview Lexington. Leroy plays host to GCMS in a matchup of state-ranked opponents. Hayworth travels to Central A&M. Fisher hosts Meridian. And Fieldcrest is at Tuscola. Avoiding complacency is the theme of the week in Monticello. The Sages are ranked in the high school football state rankings and are coming off a huge upset victory over previously state-ranked Paxton Buckley Loda 33-0 last Friday night. Coach Coley Welter says if his team is getting too comfortable after last week's win, he isn't seeing it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They would really like to take care of their playoff bid this week, I'm sure, knowing they have BCC in week 9. And so we got to be very aware of that fact. And one of the things we're really fixated on this week is not to be complacent, because Prairie Central is a very good team. They've got 3 good running backs. Their defense is very strong. Their inside linebackers are outstanding. So they're a very capable team. And when you add the fact that their backs are against the wall a little bit, that presents a challenge for us. week of practice has been good. I haven't seen a lot of that complacency, thankfully. I hope tonight when we come out, we're ready to go like we were last week. We're going to need a similar effort, and I think the kids are aware of that. And now they just got to put it into practice.
PBL was short an offensive lineman and lost both its quarterbacks during the duration of last week's game. Coach Welter feels despite the injury issues for the Panthers, his team still played very well.
Yeah, I think the film kind of bore out what we thought after the game, and that was our kids were really ready to play. Defensively, we just really got after it. And like you said, don't want to minimize the injuries that PBL had because obviously impacted the game. But I thought our kids were really ready to go and was very proud of their effort. Well, they lost their starting quarterback, but their backup quarterback also went down, so those were their two injuries. And they like to run a lot of under center stuff, and one of their quarterbacks came in to do that. So, no question it impacted them, but I felt like, again, our kids were really ready to roll and would like to think we would have performed favorably either way.
Monticello welcomes Prairie Central to town tonight. The Hawks need a win to become playoff eligible, and Coach Welter says they feature the fastest running back in the Illini Prairie Conference.
Yeah, they're a little more spread out than PBL, but they're still going to run the ball, still their primary focus. And number 10, Alt, is the fastest kid in the conference. He's an all-conference running back from last year. He's a kid that can go the distance anytime he touches the ball, so we really have to do what we did last week and fit up properly and rally to the ball. And but they have other backs as well, and they have a play-action passing game. They're definitely a stronger running team than passing team, but they will keep you honest. They will throw the ball deep a few times a game. Defensively, they switch back and forth between a 3-front and a 4-front, but against us, we're planning to see the 3-front, like a 3-4 quarters coverage. Like I said before, the inside backers are very good. They run to the ball well. They're not a huge blitz team, but they're pretty athletic in a lot of different positions. So, they can drop 8 against the pass, or they can bring pressure off the edge. So you have to be ready for either. We do so much 7-on-7 in the summer. We see a lot of different coverages. So quarters is nothing new to us, but yeah, there's certain concepts that we like to run. And when we face zone coverages, we really want to find the holes in the defense. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stretch the defender so they have to cover 2 players at once, and then we oftentimes, our goal is to throw it to the one that they're further away from.
Game time tonight is 7 o'clock. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. In the Illini Prairie tonight, IVC is at Pontiac, St. Joe Ogden travels to Rantoul, and PBL plays host to Tolono Unity. Elsewhere in high school football this week, in the Apollo Conference, Mount Zion hosts Effingham. Mattoon travels to Mahomet Seymour, and Taylorville is at Charleston. Tonight in the Big 12, Bloomington is at Peoria. Normal West plays host to Champaign Central. Normal Community travels to Champaign Centennial. Peoria Richwoods is at Danville, and in Saturday action, Peoria Manual hosts Urbana. In the Lincoln Prairie this week, Arcola is at Arthur Lovington. Atwood Hammond. Sarah Gorda Bement plays host to Argenta Oriena. Nokomis is at Toledo Cumberland. Oakland Tri-County hosts Sullivan Okaw Valley. And Saturday action, Villa Grove is at Sangamon Valley. Tonight in the Mid-Illini, Limestone is at Pekin. Morton hosts Dunlap. East Peoria is at Metamora. Washington is at Canton. Sangamo Conference action this week. Auburn is at Pittsfield. Maroa Forsyth travels to Williamsville. Athens hosts New Berlin. Petersburg Porta is at Riverton. And Olympia hosts Pleasant Plains. Non-conference high school football this week. Breeze Mater Dei is at Decatur St. Teresa. Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin plays host to Chatham Glenwood. Decatur Eisenhower is at Springfield Lanphier. Decatur MacArthur is at Jacksonville. Lincoln travels to Quincy Notre Dame. Bloomington Central Catholic hosts Peru St. Bede. Saturday action, Springfield hosts Rochester. Normal U-High plays host to Springfield Southeast. And Warrensburg Latham is at Westmont. 8-man football this week. Pawnee is at Decatur Christian on Saturday, and Champaign St. Thomas More hosts Kincaid South Fork also on Saturday. In a game heard on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Monticello withstood a big run by Prairie Central in the first set and steamrolled to a win in the second set, rolling to a 25-20, 25-9 two-set match win over the Lady Hawks on a special night at the Seaver Center in Illini Prairie Conference High School volleyball action Thursday. The two schools joined forces to feature pink in their uniforms for Pink Out Week at Monticello High School. At tonight's football game, money raised by the two schools this week will be donated to breast cancer awareness. The two sides played nearly even volleyball in the first set. Monticello got up 20-13, but the Lady Hawks stormed back to tie the set at 20. Monticello finished out the first set and scored the first 9 points of the second set, easily putting Prairie Central away for the victory. Sierra Downey led Monticello with 12 kills, 9 digs, and 7 aces. She was the serve pro of Piatt DeWitt County's player of the game. Addison Finette had a team best 16 assists. Maddie Melton had 15 digs, and Sadie Walsh added 12 digs. Hear more Monticello volleyball action next Thursday on senior night at 7 o'clock. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Return to an active lifestyle and higher quality of living with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Your orthopedic health is important, and Dr. Brett Keller specializes in joint replacement, robotic total joint replacements, general orthopedic care, and fracture care. Warner Hospital provides award-winning orthopedic health to DeWitt County with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Now scheduling patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. Call 217-784-4340.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online 24 hours a day.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Friday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans higher, Chicago wheat finishing Thursday higher. December corn closing at 406 3/4, up 2 pennies. March corn up 3/4, 421 1/4. May corn 428 3/4, unchanged. November beans closing at 988 3/4, up 8 3/4. January beans up 4, 998. March beans 1009 3/4, up 2 pennies. December Chicago wheat